Welcome to the Music Festivals podcast. This is the show that helps you get to know music festivals, festival venues, and campgrounds before you go. I'm your host, Neighbor Nate, and I'm glad you're in the neighborhood. All right, neighbors, I am so excited about this conversation we are about to have. So I first learned of Mountain Grass Unit. I had heard of them before, but I first saw them at Renewal Festival in Buena Vista, Colorado at what is now Meadow Creek. It used to be Cottonwood Meadows. And so I am delighted to welcome Mountain Grass Unit to the show. Just kind of going down the grid, we have Drury Anderson and Luke Black. We have Sam Wilson, who's their upright bass player, and we have Josiah Nelson on fiddle. Thanks for joining, guys. This is a lot of fun.
And thank you for having us.
Yeah, man. So I'll start with the obvious. I see college dorm rooms behind you. So where do you guys go to school? And just tell me a little bit about where you're at in your education.
Yeah, so Jury and I here, we go to school in Boston, and we go to Berklee College of Music there.
American Roots program, right?
American Roots program, yeah. That's I guess that's my minor. Is that yours?
Yeah, American Roots.
Okay.
So we're up here in a little house about 15 minutes away from campus.
Nice.
And on the weekends and such, we fly down or do whatever as far as gigging goes during the school year.
That's cool. How does that work with the college? I would assume, being in a performing arts program, that they would encourage you leaving school to go do your thing as early as possible.
Yeah, for some part, you get some unexcused absences. What's nice is I think we both have Fridays off. So like when we want to do a weekend gig or whatever, we can travel on Friday. So it gives us like an extra day. And sometimes we can cut Thursday too. So that's been really nice.
You guys are in good company up there. I know like Sierra Hall, Molly Tuttle was a student there. Just tons of who else? Not Travis Book, but one of the other string dusters. Chris Pandolfi, right? He was American Roots as well.
Also, two of the guys from Billy, Alex Hargraves and Billy Failing.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, that's an amazing program that's just spitting out great musicians. So that's awesome. And then Sam, where are you at?
I'm at the University of Alabama. I stayed close to home. It's about an hour from home, but I'm studying accounting. It's really boring, but it's good stuff,
I mean, going into a band, that's not a bad skill to have, right?
I guess not. It helps out with whatever, making sure that we can travel for gigs or whatever, but I don't know.
I don't think that there's a show I've listened to that I haven't heard, Roll Tide. So
I'm definitely a big Alabama fan. I guess I'm like a third generation Alabama student here. My grandma and both my parents, and then my brother, and then like all my cousins and my whole family goes here pretty much.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And then Josiah, where are you at?
I graduated a couple years ago from East Tennessee State with a degree in Bluegrass.
ETSU.
Yeah. And I'm actually back now. I teach. I'm actually teaching at ETSU as a adjunct faculty professor, teaching fiddle, mandolin, and some bands. So it's been really fun.
So I just saw the Pride Band at the Industrial Strength Bluegrass Festival, and they killed it. They were so good. So.
Yeah, I was in the Pride Band when I was a student there. Actually, 2 separate times. I started in that band like on fiddle, and then during COVID, I wasn't in it. And then after like stuff started opening back up, I played mandolin in the Pride Band. So we got to do a lot of cool stuff. Went to like Mexico and played, on a cruise ship one time. It was really fun.
I mean, I think it's interesting, like that a lot of people's impressions, especially around bluegrass, is that this is something you learn as you're a kid. And you kind of, I don't think people realize that people actually go to school to get degrees in this and get college education around this type of music, which is awesome. How long is the ETSU program going on?
I remember it was like 2 years ago was the 40th anniversary, I think. And it started out, it was like, I think it just started out as just a couple classes you could take. And like, I know there was like Kenny Chesney was taking guitar lessons, and like a couple of people from like Union Station were there. And then I think maybe it was like 10 or 12 years ago, they actually formally started a full 4-year degree that you could get.
That's awesome. I've taught at Ohio University as adjunct faculty, so I get how difficult it is to get curriculum approved, right? Like to get it through all the boards and everything else.
It's interesting because it's not part of the music program there. It's actually part of the Appalachian Studies, so they can get away with having to do like classical music theory, and so I think it's just a different approach they were able to take because the curriculum could be maybe not so formalized in music.
Yeah, that's interesting as well. Like, so what's different about learning kind of bluegrass as a style versus I've always thought it's more of kind of it's similar to Suzuki method maybe, where it's a lot of ear training and it's a lot of learning things by ears, but tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I think that for me especially, I mean, I grew up taking private lessons, but it was all ear training and, going to jams. And I think that's in festivals and picking with people. I think that's a lot of people in the music are that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Playing with other bluegrass musicians definitely is a key factor in kind of learning. And it's funny is you'll realize like different people that come from different regions playing bluegrass, it's like, you've built up a community and that's sort of your style. It was around where you're from, and I think that's kind of what's cool about it.
That's cool. So does Alabama then have its own, would you say Alabama has its own kind of take on bluegrass that would be different than like Tennessee or Colorado or anything?
Yeah, I would say so. I guess Josiah would really have a better glimpse of Tennessee and Virginia and all that region, but I would think probably at least, this area, Boston bluegrass scene versus the bluegrass scene we grew up with in Alabama would definitely have some differences.
Yeah, that's interesting that it has like a regional flavor to it, and I guess you can kind of hear that when you hear some of the different bands from different places. So, So it's a great segue into festivals. This is, and I'm going to go ahead and share this now if it's going to actually work for me.
Train on the island, thought I heard blow. Gonna tell my true love, sick and I can't go. Sick and I can't go, love, sick and I can't go. Gonna tell my true love, sick and I can't go. Well, train on the island, hear that whistle blow. Look. Train on the island, heading for the rest. Me and my gal fell out, might be for the best. Might be for the best, love, might be for the best. Me and my gal fell out, might be for the best. Well, train on the island, hear that whistle blow. Train on the island, thought I heard a squeal. Don't tell my true love, I can't roll the wheel. I can't roll the wheel, love, 'cause I can't roll the wheel. Don't tell my true love, I can't roll the wheel. Well, train on the island, hear that whistle blow. Well, train on the island, hear that whistle blow. Not bad, y'all.
I wanted to share a video of you guys at Renewal, and that was kind of a big festival for you guys. So talk a little bit about the experience of getting on stage in front of that crowd.
Man, that whole thing was a fever dream. Like, because me and Drury flew in the very first day, and we had to get up in Boston like really early to make it to the festival in time because we flew into Denver and had to drive there. But I mean, by the time we got on like the main stage with Billy's band, like we'd been up for super long. So it was just like an unreal experience, and just everything around the whole event was just awesome and like super fun.
The area, I mean, besides Josiah's been around that, Buena Vista a little bit, but none of us had. And like, to kind of like go through that whole long day of getting there and then coming to this satellite festival that we had never really been familiar with, and then getting on stage with those guys. It was like there was everything. We were like on a different planet there, which was really cool.
Yeah. It is one of the most beautiful venues that I've ever been to, like the mountains in the background and everything else. You guys were talking about a story. So I asked you earlier how you met Billy, and you said something about you jammed with him in a parking lot. So tell me a little bit about how that went down.
We went and saw him in 2019. We saw him a couple times, but this must have been the second time we'd seen him. It was us minus Josiah there. And we were hanging out after the show, picking a little bit in the parking lot. And I guess, we sure wouldn't mind if Billy came out there and picked one with us, but it wasn't necessarily like our goal for Billy to get out there. But some people, kind of saw him out there in the parking lot and kindly gestured him to come over and pick a couple with us. And Billy, bless his heart, came out there and played a couple with us. And then the rest of the band showed up. Jarod got his mandolin and Billy got his guitar. And, of course, we were just on cloud nine. Unfortunately, Sam did not have his bass with him, just cargo space.
They told me, we had planned to go to this thing together, and we couldn't drive at the time. We were too young. So I think it was your dad, Luke, that took us, right?
That's so crazy.
And this was in Atlanta at Terminal West.
Okay.
And they said that my bass wouldn't fit in the car. So I was okay, whatever. And then we get there, and sure enough, Billy and the band comes out and is picking and grinning with these two fools down here. And I'm sitting there. I'm the one who took the video. That was me.
Okay. Yeah.
And ever since then, I was like, if we ever get that opportunity again, like, I don't even care. Like, I'm bringing a bass. So then at Renewal this year, when like the second day, when they were like, yeah, like we're going to get up, and then like, getting the whole band up, and they like kind of looked at me like, do you want to get up there? And I was like, hell yeah, I do. They didn't even plug me in. I just like sat up there smiling, like, because I was
That's
like,
awesome.
how old are we? Like 14 or 15? Since then,
Probably
somewhere around there. Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's crazy.
we were almost able to drive. But.
So you guys, the three of you have been friends ever since childhood, right? Like, I think you two went to grade school together.
Yeah, all three of us grew
you?
up together. We went like same elementary school and everything. I guess Luke and Drury knew each other before. Well, so me and Luke were in the same grade, and Drury's a grade below us. So like me and Luke, like, we're like kind of friends. We kind of didn't really like each other when we were really little, like in kindergarten, but we got over that around like third grade.
Everybody's happy about that. That's pretty good.
We were like the rival,
it wasn't that we hate each other. It was like two of our friends didn't like each other. And so then like by association, we were like, like, I don't mess with you.
Yeah. The friend group type stuff.
Yeah.
So
we
then
had,
go ahead.
Sorry. Then we had gym together, Sam, in junior high.
Yeah.
We became pretty close friends there.
So the 7th grade, I had PE with Luke. And then the next year we started our middle school rock band. And that's when Drury was in my PE. And it was his first year in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I kind of got to know him better between the band. Cause Luke introduced me to him or whatever, but I came up to you one of the first days and was like, hey buddy, I'm gonna be your bass player.
I remember that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was definitely the first. I remember meeting you. It's been a while since, I guess I was probably 4 when I met you or something like that. So I don't quite remember that one, but this guy's always been in my life. And then this guy came really, really soon in 7th grade, and we started forming a band and doing the rock thing for a little while.
Yeah. How did you get, so you started, and I want to get to Josiah too, because that's an interesting, like, I want to find out how you came to the band, but you guys started as a rock band. When did you make the decision to transition over to bluegrass? Or newgrass or jamgrass or whatever the hell we're calling it.
It was kind of like we started like, there's this awesome company in Birmingham called Mason Music that they like teach kids lessons or whatever, but they've set up this program called like Rock Band League. So it's kind of like rec football or whatever, but for their like students, like musicians. So they'll kind of like throw you in bands together. But
Yeah.
if you have like friends, you can kind of like set it up to be in the same band and they'll put other people in with you. So we did that for like starting in 7th or 8th grade, and then played some gigs on our own. Then we transitioned for a brief period to like a funk sort of, I don't even know what you call that. We had like a trombone in it. And then
Just nonsense is what that was.
Okay. All right. Who played trombone? Was it one of you guys or somebody else?
one of our buddies.
Okay.
Somebody from high school.
But the whole time, ever since these two were little, they had AndBlack. It was like a duo, like acoustic kind of bluegrassy band. And then I guess it's around 9th grade, our like rock band, funk band thing started to fizzle, and they were like, "Hey, like, come play with us." And so my mom knew a friend who had an upright bass who let me borrow it we actually played our first gig 3 days after I'd ever touched an upright bass, which was an
Wow.
And that
experience.
video is still on YouTube. You can find it. TEDxYouth, Mountain Brook Junior High, and Black Band if you want to have a good giggle.
Anderson.
Oh.
This is Luke Black, and this is Sam Wilson. We're in Black, and we're going to be playing some bluegrass songs for you. This first one is a song that Luke wrote. It's called Luke's Lament.
Definitely going to put that link in the show notes. That'll be be fun to watch.
We watched that. Actually, Sam came out this past weekend, and we all just sat down and just took a walk down memory lane with that one.
Nice.
It's so bad.
It's so funny, dude. Yeah, it's probably got to be linked. I hate to expose us like that, but it's so funny.
It's got to be
That's
out
hilarious.
there. It's
I totally can't wait to look for that Easter egg. That's going to be awesome. And then Josiah, you're a bit older.
Yeah.
How did you connect with these guys? How did you come into the fold?
Well, I was at ETSU and Luke came and toured. I was probably a junior or maybe senior at the time, and he came and toured the school. And one of my professors is actually kind of my boss now. Asked me to set up a jam for him. So me and a couple of my roommates, my old roommate Trey, and one of my actual coworkers now too, Jacob Metz, got together a jam, and Luke's dad dropped him off at my house, which is kind of funny now looking back at it, but just dropped him off at the house, and we had a good jam that night, and found out that we both love like the space grass and all that fun stuff. We kind of just stayed in touch, and then I guess it was a couple years ago they came and played in Asheville, which is only about 45 minutes from where I was living at the time. So I came and watched the show and I sat in, and then I guess last year when y'all played in Chapel Hill, I came and played a whole show with y'all, and they'd stopped by the house a couple times and jammed, I think. And
I guess that was that 2023 when you played that whole show with us in Chapel Hill?
Yeah. And then I guess at the beginning of the year y'all had asked me to come record fiddle on the new album, and I don't know, the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah, and now you guys are all over the place.
Well, so going into this summer past 2024, we had asked Josiah after we did like the EP with him, and we were like, hey, like, would you come do the first 10 dates with us? Like, we'd love to have you on for fiddle, but we were like kind of like on the fence, like, do we want to add another person to the band? Like, he's so good, but I don't know. And after I think the second or third day on tour, I don't even know if we had played 2 or 3 shows. We're like, oh my God, nope, no going back. And we're like,
right.
gotta come on for
we
the rest
were
of the
staying at
season.
Drury's grandma's house or something, and they're like,
Yeah.
"So we need to talk to you." I was like, "Oh no, I'm getting fired."
I know.
Exactly as you thought.
Oh,
And then yeah, they sat me down and they asked if I wanted to come play the rest of summer, and then yeah, it's like,
That's awesome.
yes.
that's awesome.
I had to make a
And
couple calls, but
just to brag on him for a little bit, like normally a person that isn't as devoted as Josiah might be like, well, let me take a look at my calendar and figure things out. Josiah just said yes, like immediately. Which we were like, oh wow, okay, awesome. This is
I said yes, and then I realized I had to make some calls and be like, oh wait, I have some other things I have to.
Yeah, he's put the rest of the
yes
day on Google
and the
Calendar.
calls and everything. We can figure that part out later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he quickly said yes, and we're like, look, man, we got a week. We're headed out to Utah for these gigs. We're flying, so we flew to Utah, came back. Sam, on our way back from one gig in Dothan, grabbed a trailer, and so we got a
World
trailer
outside of Montgomery.
and then we met him there back in Birmingham right before we went to Utah and decked it out and got it ready. And then Josiah was there by the next week, and we took off for the full summer.
Yeah, they flew out to Utah, and I had to get my ducks in a row. And I actually we went out to Kansas City and played a show, and then I had to fly from Kansas City back here to where I live, because I had a recordings session booked, and so I had to get that. And then I flew back out to Spokane and met them for the rest of the summer.
Okay. That's a lot of travel too. That's
Yeah.
crazy. How do you guys practice? Like if everybody's living in different, I know the string dusters do this too. Those guys are all over the place in terms of where they live. How do you guys do it? I'm imagining that there's something more than just you pop up on stage and can play, right? Like, how do you guys do it?
Usually, like, we'd meet, before a show and like draft up a set list, or at least like send it in a group chat, then like all individually practice. It's nice having Drury up here because we can kind of practice through the songs.
Yeah.
But I guess for some of these shows when we're flying in, it's really just about getting there together, making sure we're all on time, and then however long we have before, like even if it's 20 minutes, just picking in the green room, like at Bourbon and Beyond, for example. It was just like so loud at that festival, and we're like sitting in this little like white little tent thing trying to pick and hear each other just to see what we can come up with. But yeah, it's just really like that really quick turnaround. When we're on tour in summer, we can pick in like the hotels and everything, and work up arrangements and work up new songs. But as far as like during the school year, it's pretty limited.
Well,
Yeah.
nice thing for me is like we have all those Nugs recordings, which is just like we have like this wealth of recordings of us playing it live, and so we can just like practice to those Nugs recordings.
That's what I was gonna say. Like for the two of us that don't have a Drury that lives with us, we just that's what I do. I just hook up Nugs to a portable speaker and play along with it or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got all of us on Nugs.
Yeah, so that's always
Also-
helpful.
Yeah. I was going to say what's also super cool about that whole deal is like, I think there is sort of like an energy when we get back all together. Or at least I felt that way during the Childers thing. Like we got back together, and it had been a minute since we all played together. And it didn't take very long for us to sort of like reconnect how well we merged together and have fun doing it, So that was like sort of it's always like a breath of fresh air when we come back and create new ideas and stuff.
I definitely feel like we're all trying to like impress each other with the new stuff we've learned.
Yeah.
Be on stage and like Josiah, for example, will have some crazy new like pedal effect, just like
Yeah. Well,
make us all turn our heads like, whoa, what just happened?
so I hear that in the shows, right? And that's interesting because I think, Billy Strings was really the first person that I knew of that started mixing the effects, and he does that thing where he throws the sound in between the speakers, and like there's all kinds of little digital, and I hear you guys do some of that and you kind of take it in your own direction, but then a lot of times you also like as like a nod to Billy Strings will place like a riff from one of his songs and then go into something different, right? Which I think is fantastic. Who sits down and says, well, for instance, let me back up for a second. So Drury, I heard on one of the Nugs recordings recently where you actually got up and you were talking and you said, yeah, I guess we have to start mixing in some of our original tunes because that's what you need is some of your original tunes. And I noticed like you guys will take a cover into an original tune or an original tune into a cover. One of the ones I was looking at, a lot of Stone Temple Pilots stuff, right? So like Interstate Love Song, tell me a little bit about how you make those choices. Like, how do you say, okay, we're going to do something more traditional or by another rock band and then go into like one of our own?
It just kind of depends on the feel. Well, first of all, the Billy covers and the Dead covers, usually just because people have covered those in the past with Bluegrass. Those are kind of like the low-hanging fruit in the sense of just like knowing arrangement-wise what to do with them, because we've kind of had a little bit of a reference. Obviously, we're like pretty big fans of Billy Strings and the Dead and all that. But when it comes to some of those other cover tunes, like you mentioned, Stone Temple Pilots, you know, we might find ourselves kind of just like digging the tune. Like 2 examples are that song, and we've just recently been doing Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Those 2 that kind of like, I guess we, you know, we're digging and listening to, and we kind of find out that all of us are kind of like, hey, this would be cool to do, like to cover. And then we sort of get more into the details of like if it's going to be possible to turn it into a bluegrass song.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot that we try that do not end up being like great to do. Cause I mean, you got to keep that like rhythm going, you know, and there's a lot like without drums, a lot of these songs that we're doing are like drum heavy or whatever. And so you kind of have to like mold it or like kind of make it your own to a certain extent.
It seems like the audience really digs it though.
Father of grunge. He really wanted it played just like that. How's everybody feeling out there?
Yeah, you guys have done amazing festivals. I know you talked a lot about you played with Delfest, Renewal. You guys were Winter Wondergrass last year. You're doing Winter Wondergrass this year. I'll be at that one. First time going to that one.
Man, that one is fantastic. Like the Bonfire Entertainment guys, the guys that do Renewal and all the Winter Wondergrass and Baja Wondergrass and all that are like phenomenal. They put on crazy things. Yep, there we go.
Nice. Way to wrap.
Shout out Scotty from Bonfire Entertainment. This guy helped me a lot.
I
You're the
met him
bomb.
once. I met him once at Renewal because I had video cameras, and I get a tap on the shoulder as I'm like shooting stuff. He's like, you probably need permission to do that. Yeah, probably.
Here it is.
Yeah,
Permission.
yeah, hopefully he doesn't get mad about that. But yeah, you guys are so a lot of great festivals. You've got Northlands Fest coming up. You guys are doing Romp, I believe, which has got a great lineup. What else is on your radar for that next season?
We have a hometown show coming up at Iron City this winter break, December 27th. And that's going to be awesome because it's like probably, one of the biggest venues we've played in Birmingham. And it's just our show. Like it's, solely us playing. So we got a couple of fun things.
Next week we're playing in Boulder at Leftover Salmon.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Love Leftover Salmon.
And then February we're doing an after show for Billy in Asheville at the Orange Peel. I think that one just got announced, so that'll be super fun. I don't know if we've talked about this yet, but I'm gonna try to go and catch the first set of Billy if we can. That'd be sick. We need to look into that
For sure.
That'd be cool. I'll have you guys come in and sit in. That would be amazing. So you guys were part of the Renewal family band too. Like when Billy left and had to go do his thing, they pulled together. So you guys played a little bit with everybody else who was on stage too. Was that accurate?
Yeah. And shout out Billy's baby, that really just helped us out there. That sort of opportunity. Circumstances, the stars aligned for that one. And all of a sudden we're able to get on stage with some of our heroes, which was incredible. Molly Tuttle, Larry Keel, Jerry Douglas, John Stickley.
No heavy hitters at all. Like not
No,
heavy hitters
not at all.
right?
No.
It was wild because it was like I've been playing along with these songs forever, and then to like get up there and have it's the best backing track I've ever had.
That's awesome. That's cool. So you guys have the album out right now that's Running from Trouble. That's the newest album. And then there's a few other like EPs and things on Nugs. What's in store? Like, are you guys writing more? Where's next year going to take you as you get out of classes and have more time to do this?
We'll see what the future holds. Our plan now is to just kind of, for the three of us that are in school, is to get out of school. And, Josiah's already in Tennessee, and hopefully we'll kind of gravitate somewhere around there and make the gigs a little more year round, if you will.
Yeah.
We can actually practice.
Yeah.
Right. I would love to see you guys at the Caverns too. Josiah, have you ever been to the Caverns down in Pelham?
I've been. I've seen Punch Brothers there, and man, what a cool place.
Yeah, it's one of
you
my
won't see us at the Caverns. We won't be there soon. So
I mean, I don't know. We're not going to be there before summer tour or anything. So
Yeah.
that would be great.
we'll just leave it at that.
Not at all. Okay. We'll take that for what it's worth.
We might get in trouble for that.
Not making any announcements or anything. No, I definitely appreciate you guys jumping on. So you have merch, you have the website. How do people find out about you? I'm trying to get the word out because, like I said, I think you guys are one of my brand new favorite bands to listen to. Where else can people find you? How do you want them to find you?
mountaingrassunit.com. And then we also on Instagram and Facebook and all that. We got an email list you can sign up for. But yeah, we appreciate just following us on Instagram. We post lots of dumb videos and whatnot, and just, drop some comments if you think stuff's funny or whatever. We love seeing that. We read all the comments, DM us, reach out. We love seeing all that stuff. We respond to like most of them, I think. I don't know.
We've got an email list on our website too that you can sign up. If you go to mountaingrassunit.com, I think it's on the homepage. You can sign up to just sort of know what's new as far as merch goes, what's new as far as shows go, that sort of deal. If you just love just getting emailed randomly, this is for you.
Nice. Well, fellas, I do appreciate you jumping on today, and congrats to you on the success. Like, really, you guys are killing it. I cannot wait to see you guys live again. So thanks for doing this. We got Drury, Sam, Luke, and Josiah from Mountain Grass Unit. You guys are awesome.
Thanks so much, Nate.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.